What policies are Latin American governments adopting to manage large scale migration? If you're curious about how Latin American countries are handling the complex issue of large scale migration, you're in the right place. Let's break down the strategies and policies these governments are implementing. Latin American countries are facing significant migration challenges, partly due to the recent policies announced by the U.S. government. Under the Trump administration, there has been a strong emphasis on repatriating migrants back to their home countries, including Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil, and Colombia. In response to these repatriation efforts, some Latin American leaders have initially resisted, threatening to reject the repatriation flights and condemning the practice. However, the U.S. has been firm in its approach, threatening retaliatory measures such as significant tariffs, travel bans, visa restrictions, and economic sanctions if these countries do not comply. To manage these pressures, Latin American governments are adopting several strategies. For instance, they are working to strengthen their border security and immigration laws. In some cases, they are also engaging in diplomatic efforts to negotiate better terms with the U.S. and other countries involved in the migration flow. Mexico, for example, has been under pressure to accept more deportees and to deter migration from Central America. The Mexican government has responded by enhancing its border security measures and cooperating with the U.S. on certain aspects of migration policy, while also advocating for more humane treatment of migrants. Other countries like Guatemala and Brazil are also taking steps to manage the influx of migrants. They are implementing policies to provide temporary protection and assistance to migrants, while also working to improve economic conditions within their own countries to reduce the push factors driving migration. Additionally, regional cooperation is becoming more important. Latin American countries are collaborating through various regional organizations to share best practices and coordinate their responses to migration. This includes working together on issues like border management, asylum policies, and economic development to address the root causes of migration. In terms of specific actions, some Latin American governments are setting up reception centers for migrants, providing legal assistance, and offering integration programs to help migrants settle into their new environments. These efforts aim to balance the need to manage migration flows with the humanitarian obligation to protect the rights and dignity of migrants. Overall, Latin American governments are navigating a complex landscape of international pressure, domestic challenges, and humanitarian concerns. Their policies reflect a mix of security measures, diplomatic engagement, and humanitarian assistance as they strive to manage large-scale migration effectively.